You've probably seen the headlines lately. India's economy is putting up some seriously big numbers, and there's a lot of buzz. But what's really going on behind all that? Well, today we're going to look at two powerful stories. One is about a roaring economic engine, and the other, it's about a decades-long human journey. So let's get past the headlines and figure out what these two stories really mean. First up, the number that's got everybody talking, 8.2%. That was India's real GDP growth for the July to September quarter of 2025. And just so we're clear, that's with inflation factored out. To put that in perspective for you, it's the fastest the economy has grown in a year and a half. That is one impressive number.
So, okay, whenever you see a number that big, the immediate question is how? Where is all this momentum coming from? What are the specific forces that are pushing the economy forward so fast?
To get that answer, we've got to pop the hood and take a look inside the engine itself. We're going to break down that 8.2% and see exactly which parts are firing on all cylinders right now.
And what's really striking here is just how broad this growth is. It's not just one thing carrying all the weight. You can see private consumption, that's basically a measure of consumer spending, it's up a really strong 7.9%. And right alongside it, manufacturing is just booming at 9.1%. This tells you it's not just one sector having a good quarter. It's a sign of real health pretty much across the board.
And hey, it's not just an internal view. Major international players are taking notice. The IMF, for instance, recently pointed out just how resilient India's economy is. They're highlighting strong financial buffers. Think of that as the country's financial safety net and a stable outlook. And you know, that adds a whole other layer of confidence to those big growth numbers.
Okay, so the engine is absolutely roaring, no doubt about it. But this is where our explainer takes a really interesting turn. Is the speed of the economy right now the only thing that matters? Is this high-growth snapshot the complete picture of the nation's progress, or is there something else we should be looking at?
So now, let's totally shift our perspective. We're going to zoom way out from the quarterly economic data and look at a much longer, and you could argue, a much more fundamental story. This is the story of human development in India over the last 30-plus years.
Now, to understand this journey, we need a different kind of yardstick. It's called the Human Development Index, or HDI. And this isn't just about money. The UN created it to measure a country's real progress by combining three key things: people living a long and healthy life, having access to education, and having a decent standard of living.
And when you chart India's HDI over time, the story is just one of consistent, steady progress. From its starting point back around 1990, which, by the way, is right when major economic reform started, it has been on this steady climb, recently hitting 0.685 in 2023. It's not a sudden spike, it's a determined, multi-decade improvement.
In fact, the scale of this progress is just massive. Since the early 90s, India's HDI value has shot up by more than 50%. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. In about a single generation, the foundational conditions for a person's well-being have improved by half. That is a truly profound transformation.
So what does a rising HDI actually mean for real people? Because it's not just some abstract number on a chart. It means, on average, people are living longer, healthier lives. It means that a child born today can expect to get more years of schooling than their parents ever did. And yes, it also means a higher income for the average person. This is real, tangible progress you can feel in daily life.
All right, let's put these two big stories together. On one hand, we've got the snapshot of a booming economy, and on the other, we have this long movie of human development. So, how do they connect?
Here's the best way to think about it. That 8.2% growth, that's like looking at a car's speedometer right now. It's fast, it's exciting, it tells you how powerful the engine is in this moment. But the HDI? That's the odometer. It tells you the total distance that car has traveled over 30 years. The economic surge is the snapshot. The human advance is the entire journey. One is about speed, the other is about distance covered.
And that brings us to the biggest question of all for India's future. We've got this incredibly powerful economic engine, and we've got this steadily strengthening human foundation that's been built over decades. Now, of course, the two are connected. That economic growth provides the fuel for better health and education. And this is the key, that link is not automatic. The real challenge, the real question, is how to harness the power of this roaring engine to accelerate that human journey even faster, ensuring that today's incredible speed is invested in the quality of tomorrow's journey for everyone.